called for a national conclave. Don't you think that some of the issues being handled by this committee should have been the subject to be discussed at that level? That probably we're having various discussions over and over on different platforms to no end.
That intergenerational conclave that was proposed by His Excellency Raila Amolo Odinga, for me, I feel like this is just a waste of taxpayers' money. Because, Gen Z were very clear in the year 2023. They placed their agendas very clear. That doesn't need any committee to come and intervene. So, you see, this committee will not solve the issue of unemployment, will not solve the issue of corruption, will not solve the issue of high taxation. So we don't need any committee to solve the issues that are affecting the young people right now. Even the NADCO report, this is just, the committee that was created is just political brothers to reward their friends. There's nothing that's going to happen there. They're just going to waste the public money to have meetings in very expensive hotels, but these things will not resolve the issues that are affecting the young people right now. Yeah.
All right. As we come to the end of our show, it is time for us to discuss the devolved units. Next week, we'll have the devolution conference in Homa Bay. This being 2025 is exactly 15 years after the promulgation of the Constitution, but 13 years since the rollout of the first devolved units, 12, 13 years. We seem to have gone back to a centralized view of our politics. The intention of having devolved units was that we have less focus on the center of power at the national level and focused more on the different regions. It would appear the focus has gone back to the presidency. Do you think we've lost a lot of focus in as far as devolved units, and in that allowed the devolved units to do a lot of things without proper accountability?
Yeah, true. I agree with you. You see, when you see the members of parliament and governors running to State House in the pretext of we are going to look for development, that's where the problem starts. If devolution is to work, the governor has no business parading themselves along the corridors of State House, sipping coffee in the pretext of we are looking for development. Which development? You have a budget, you have an allocation, you have the capacity, you have a county, you can collect revenue. You can propagate those developments within your counties. Get that? So you see, governors have reduced themselves to workers, employees of the state, of the president or whoever is in power at that time, to an extent that if they don't go to State House, they believe they won't get development. Same case with the members of parliament. Members of parliament have clear roles and responsibilities, but still you find them hanging around the State House in pretext of getting development. What we are saying is this: the governors that we have must respect the Constitution's dictation and elaboration of term devolution, and the expectations of the framers of the Constitution on what devolution should do and how it should be run, so that they detach themselves from depending on the national government with some myopic thinking that if they don't align, they won't get development. Look at Kivutha Kibwana in Makueni. Kivutha Kibwana at that time, the party under which he was elected in wasn't in government, but look at the things he did in Makueni. Is up to date, he stands out as one of the exemplary governors who went and sat down and did what devolution dictated that they should do. Get that? But today, what do we have? Governors have reduced themselves and they have stopped doing what they should do, running to State House. What I would say is this, Fred. We just need to end bad manners in everything that we do, more so when it comes to running of a state or a county. Most of these guys that are running to State House every day are running there because of their corrupt cases, so that they are not pinned down by the agencies, so that they are seen that they are aligned with the president, they are seen that they are close to the president to evade corruption cases and graft cases. The truth of the matter is we must have people of integrity in offices who can really sit down like Kivutha Kibwana and work for the people without fear of being arrested anytime from anywhere.
But it would appear we've also just devolved bad manners, bickering at the political level to the counties, Winfred. We've seen even Kivutha Kibwana that you mentioned, the kind of problems he had in Makueni between himself and the county assembly. Yes. Do you think that probably that is where we're failing, that our politics from the bottom up is already messed up, and even with a devolved system, we would still find ourselves in this crisis?
I'm looking at the politics of Kenya as a circus, because most politicians in Kenya, especially during campaigns, they dish out a lot of money to the electorate. And this dishing out of money has brought that syndrome of, you see, I will not elect you. And you see, I'm also blaming this on the common mwananchi. I will not elect you because of what you can do or your ideologies, but I'm going to elect you because of how much I have received from you. If you're giving me 1,000, I will vote for you. If you're giving me 500 bob, 200 bob, I will vote for you. So this country, we need to change our way of doing politics, because you see, if someone is giving you their 1,000 and you know you are not alone, he's giving so many people 1,000 shillings or 2,000 or 3,000 or whatever amount it is. And once this person gets elected into office, you see, they will start saying, now I want to start getting back my money because I used my money for campaigns. Now I want to start getting back my money. And that is how people start now stealing the money that is meant for the public. And you see, the Auditor General, Nancy Gathungu, CBS, who has the mandate, according to the Kenyan Constitution, Chapter 229, Article 229, to be able to give reports on how finances are being used by different government entities that are being funded by public money. And you see, we are looking at the national government. These are some of the entities. We are looking at the county government, the judiciary, the commissions, even the political parties. And our main focus now is on the county governments. And you see, most county governments have become crime scenes. Most money that is meant to do the roads, to do the hospitals, it is being swindled by these governors. And some governors, not all of them are bad. Some governors are very good. And actually, devolution is very good. But there is the good side and the bad side. So the good side is that there's actual development on the ground, because you can see some roads that were not tarmacked have been tarmacked. You can see that some hospitals that were doing so badly have improved. I'm looking at a case study of Murang'a County. They are doing so well as a devolved government. But I'm looking at some counties, they are actually in a pathetic state. Because how would you explain to people that your hospitals in your county do not even have drugs? How do you explain to people that as the governor of a county, your roads are in a pathetic state, that the schools are doing, they're also doing badly, yet you have billions of money that are being dispersed to you in every financial year? Okay. So the politics of this country need to change. We need to vote people according to ideologies, and we need to find a way of creating an enabling environment for a good coexistence between the two parties, so that a lot of money is not swindled in between.
Right, and probably you're giving too much when you think about devolution, focusing too much on the governors. We've seen instances where many governors are simply held hostage or a ransom by their respective county assemblies. So what happened in Meru? We can see what's happening in Kericho. At the moment, Governor Mutai has even called for the dissolution of his county because the assembly is trying to impeach him for a second time. Could that be the problem? That we inadvertently give too much power to county assemblies, that they are not allowing their county executives, headed by the governors, to actually perform the devolved functions?
Actually, it's not an issue about giving much power to these governors. Actually, the issue is the kind of leaders that we elect. You know, we are not electing leaders of integrity. We are not electing leaders who have a proven track record. We are electing thugs. And I want to say that come 2027, the only reward, the best reward we can give to the young people we lost, the heroes we lost, is by electing leaders who have sound mind. So the issue of the county being in all this mess is because of the corruption among these leaders. And therefore, we want to say that come 2027, we elect leaders of integrity who will be able to polish the county systems. The issue of, like these members of parliament who always go to the State House, as Ken Babu has mentioned, to look for projects, to look for, I don't know, development. You know, there's a budget. You have to propose that in the parliament. You don't go to the State House to seek for this development. I like what Babuino is doing. And Babuino is doing a very good job and is in opposition. And also let me talk about C.S. Oparanya when he was the governor of Kakamega County. He was in opposition, but there's a lot that Governor Oparanya did in the county of Kakamega. Actually, is among the best counties in terms of development when he was in leadership. So we just need to elect leaders of integrity who will run the country.
And I have exactly 3 minutes for your parting shot. So